Welcome back to True Dinar Inside, your definitive source for clear signals in the currency revolution. What I am about to share with you is not speculation, it's a connection of dots that very few in this space are willing or able to make. December 3rd is not just another date on the calendar, it is the convergence point of policy, pressure, and preparation that we have been waiting for. But to understand why this date is electrifying insider circles, you must first look 2 days earlier, to December 1st. A brand new financial mechanism is set to go live on that Monday, a system designed by global banking architects to handle what they euphemistically call high-volatility, multi-currency events. Now, ask yourself a critical question: why would the global financial system need a brand new, rapid settlement protocol in the first week of December? It's not for the euro or the yen, those systems have been in place for decades. This is a contingency tool, a piece of financial infrastructure being quietly rolled into place, and its activation date is the biggest clue we have ever received. Think of it as the financial world installing airbags in a car. They don't do it for a leisurely Sunday drive, they do it because they are anticipating a potential impact. This is the preparation phase, and it's happening right under the noses of the mainstream financial media, who are obsessing over Fed rates and inflation data, completely missing the structural shifts occurring in the background. The chatter from our sources within regional banks, particularly in the Gulf states and Southeast Asia, has reached a fever pitch over the last 72 hours. The instruction has been a single, repeated word: liquidity. Bank managers and treasury officers are being told to ensure maximum cash liquidity is available and to be prepared for unprecedented settlement instructions that could come with little advance notice. This isn't about a stock market crash or a bond default. The specific focus is on foreign exchange desks. One source, who must remain anonymous, put it this way: the drills have shifted. For years, we practiced for market collapses. Last week, the drill was exclusively about processing a massive, simultaneous influx of currency repricings and citizen transactions. Let that sink in. They are not preparing for a crash, they are preparing for a release. They are stress testing systems not for failure, but for a sudden, overwhelming success. This aligns perfectly with the intel we've gathered from Baghdad and Hanoi. In Iraq, the pressure from the International Monetary Fund to finally abandon the dollar monopoly and formalize a market-driven exchange rate has hit its decisive phase. The Central Bank of Iraq's public auctions of dollars have become a tense theater, each one scrutinized for signs of the old artificial peg finally cracking. The new government, backed into a corner by international agreements, has no more road left to kick the can down. The reforms are no longer pending, they are operationally imminent. Meanwhile, in Vietnam, the movement is even more direct. The State Bank of Vietnam has been on a relentless campaign to tighten control over gold markets and stabilize the dong, not for the sake of stability alone, but to create a controllable runway. Their goal is to prevent the kind of wild, speculative spiral that could undermine the economic transformation they seek from a revaluation. They are methodically boxing out the black market influences to ensure that when the shift happens, it is orderly and benefits the national economy, not just the speculators. So, we have a new global banking protocol on December 1st. We have regional banks in a state of high alert for a currency event. We have two nations at the absolute end of their reform timelines. All of these pressurized pipelines lead to one valve, and that valve is scheduled to be turned on December 3rd. This is the day the IMF Executive Board meets. While their published agenda may list routine matters, the closed-door sessions are where the real approvals are granted. This is the oversight body that must give the final, silent nod to the currency reforms of its member nations. It is the ultimate gatekeeper. The confluence of these technical, logistical, and political timelines is not a coincidence, it is a design. Someone, somewhere, has chosen this week to flip the switch. The quiet before the storm isn't quiet at all, it's the sound of gears locking into place, and if you listen closely, you can hear the clock ticking down. But what does this mean for you, the holder? That's where the analysis gets even more startling, and it involves a piece of data from a completely different market that confirms everything. Now, let's pivot to a piece of evidence that seems unrelated but confirms the entire financial reconfiguration: the bond market. While everyone was watching stocks and direct currency pairs, the smart money has been making a silent, monumental bet in sovereign debt. In the last 10 trading days, we have seen a completely anomalous and unprecedented surge in ultra-short-term bond purchases for both Iraq and Vietnam. I'm not talking about long-term investments, I'm talking about 30-day and 60-day notes. These are not bought by tourists or hopeful speculators, they are instruments for massive institutional capital, banks, sovereign wealth funds, and hedge funds that move billions. Why would any major institution park billions in 30-day debt in a country whose currency is supposedly unstable or pegged at an artificial rate? They wouldn't. Unless they have absolute, inside certainty that within that 30-day window, the fundamental valuation of that country's entire financial system is going to change, making those bonds a risk-free, short-term parking spot that is about to yield extraordinary returns as the sovereign credit rating gets an instant uplift. This is the tell. It's the same signal we saw right before major historical monetary unions or revaluations. The big players aren't reading forums or watching YouTube videos, they are acting on verified intelligence from the highest corridors of power, and their money is now on the table, betting on a December catalyst. But here's the twist that most analysts are missing: this isn't just about two isolated currencies jumping in value. That's the small picture. The large picture is about a fundamental reset of global trade routes, and that's where the December 3rd date gets its true, explosive weight. For over a decade, the global economy has operated on a petrodollar system, where oil traded exclusively in US dollars. That era is ending, not with a bang, but with a series of bilateral agreements. Iraq, sitting on some of the world's largest oil reserves, has just signed its third major oil contract in 6 months that does not mandate payment in dollars. The latest, with a major Asian economic power, explicitly allows for settlement in a basket of currencies including the Iraqi dinar. This is not an accident, it is a policy directive. Vietnam, meanwhile, has become the linchpin in the Asia-Pacific manufacturing corridor, and its trade surplus is ballooning. They are accumulating dollars they don't want to hold, because holding too many dollars makes you vulnerable to another nation's monetary policy. Their entire economic strategy is now geared toward de-dollarization, and a stronger dong is the essential tool to achieve that. So, on December 3rd, when the IMF board meets, they aren't just reviewing two currency reforms. They are, in effect, ratifying a new, multipolar financial world order. They are giving a controlled, institutional blessing to the end of dollar hegemony in these two critical regions. The RV isn't the cause, it's the necessary financial adjustment that allows this new trade system to function smoothly. The currencies must revalue to realistic, market-driven levels to give these nations the purchasing power and credit strength to operate as true partners in this new network, not as dollar-dependent satellites. This brings us to the most critical, personal part of the equation, the banking side. All the policy and bond market moves mean nothing if the banks on your street corner aren't ready. And this is where the story gets incredibly specific. For the past month, Tier 1 US and European banks have been running what they call Scenario Delta updates to their core banking software. These are not minor patches. These are major code deployments that, according to the technical documentation, enable dynamic, real-time recalculation of asset portfolios based on volatile, non-pegged FX rates. In simple terms, they are teaching their computers how to handle a situation where a currency's value isn't fixed but can change massively within a single business day. Why now? Why this month? Furthermore, the internal memos we've seen indicate a quiet period for foreign currency exchanges and wire transfers has been suggested from December 2nd through December 5th for system integrity updates. They are literally creating a technical window. This is the final, logistical proof. The policy is set in Iraq and Vietnam. The international oversight is scheduled for December 3rd. The big money has placed its bets in the bond market. And now, the physical machinery of global finance, the bank servers, the SWIFT codes, the teller software, is being physically rewired to accommodate the new reality. Every single layer, from the geopolitical down to the digital, is aligning in this single week. It's a symphony where every instrument has been tuning up separately, and the conductor has just raised the baton, ready to start on the same downbeat. But knowing all this leads to one final, urgent question: what happens in the 72 hours after that downbeat? The sequence of events will be fast, confusing, and potentially overwhelming, and how you navigate it will make all the difference. So, the switch is flipped, the systems are live, and the new rates are officially recognized. What happens next? The first 72 hours will be a whirlwind defined not by celebration, but by controlled chaos. Forget the fantasy of logging into your bank app at midnight to see a new, life-changing number. The process will be administrative, sequential, and deliberately paced to prevent a systemic overload. December 4th will likely be banking day 1. This is when the official notices will go out to all financial institutions globally via secure channels like the SWIFT network. The key word you will hear from official sources is harmonization. They will speak of aligning the program rate with the market rate, of fulfilling IMF Article 8 obligations, of formalizing a true floating exchange rate. They will use every technical term possible to avoid saying revaluation. Your local bank manager will know little more than you do initially. They will be waiting for directives from their international headquarters. Their first priority will be to temporarily suspend foreign exchange trading for the dinar and dong to input the new parameters and recalibrate their risk models. This temporary freeze is not a red flag, it is the standard, cautious procedure. During this window, the misinformation will spike. Fearmongers will claim the event has failed or been cancelled. Ignore the noise. The silence is part of the plan. Day 2, December 5th, will be Liquidity Day. This is when the new financial protocol activated on December 1st will face its first real-world test. The major exchange houses and correspondent banks in financial hubs like Dubai, Singapore, and Zurich will begin the process of sourcing physical cash at the new rate to meet anticipated demand. This is where you will see the first tangible green shoots. Wholesale buy and sell orders will appear on professional trading platforms like Reuters EBS or Bloomberg FXGO, establishing the initial, real interbank market. The rate you see here will be the wholesale rate, not the retail rate you will get. It will be volatile, possibly swinging wildly as the market finds its true equilibrium. This is normal. Do not panic if you see a dip from an early high. This is the market's discovery process. Concurrently, this is the day when national governments will likely make their public announcements. Expect speeches from the Central Bank of Iraq and the State Bank of Vietnam framed as the triumphant conclusion of a long reform journey, a victory for economic sovereignty and stability. They will announce the new official rates and the process for citizens to exchange old currency notes for new ones, a critical step to draw out the mattress money and bring it into the formal economy. Finally, by day 3, December 6th, the focus shifts to you, the global holder. This is activation day for regional and local banks. Your institution will receive its finalized procedures. This is when you must be methodical, not emotional. Your first call should not be to your bank, but to a qualified, independent tax attorney and a fee-based financial advisor. Do not take financial or legal advice from a bank teller or from YouTube. The tax implications of a windfall event are monumental and vary by country and even by state. You need a professional to structure your next steps to protect your wealth. Then, and only then, contact your bank. Schedule an appointment with the branch manager or the private banking division. Do not rush in demanding a cash out. Inquire about their process, their timelines, and their fees for large foreign currency transactions. Understand if they will offer a tiered exchange rate based on volume. Your strategy should be phased. Exchange a small portion initially to establish the relationship and understand the mechanics, then plan the strategic, gradual conversion of the rest based on your advisor's counsel for wealth preservation, investment, and legacy planning. This event is not the finish line, it is the starting gate for a new financial life. The currency shift unlocks the door, but wisdom and preparation are what will allow you to build a lasting future through it. And that is the full, unvarnished breakdown. From the global protocol to the bond market bets, from the geopolitical reset to the bank software updates, and finally, to the 3-day sequence that will change everything. This is the analysis you come to True Dinar Inside for. We cut through the noise to bring you tomorrow's truth. If this deep dive has provided you with clarity, then do this for me right now. Hit that like button, it fuels this channel's ability to secure more critical intel. Subscribe and ring the notification bell, because when the official announcements hit, we will be here live, dissecting every word and providing real-time guidance. Most importantly, share this video with one serious holder in your inner circle. They need this roadmap. The clock is ticking. Stay locked in, stay rational, and stay ready. This is True Dinar Inside, signing off until the next critical update. Your clear signal in the currency revolution.